Listen closely, because what's coming right now is the brutal truth. Every general partner, founder, and investor needs to hear, but few dare to say out loud. Your fund's operations, the very thing that keeps your vision alive, are a ticking time bomb. And it's not some abstract risk way off in the distance. It's happening every day, quietly sabotaging your mission, draining your capital, and threatening your legacy. Legal issues. They lurk in every corner, waiting to bite the unprepared, the overconfident, the distracted. And make no mistake, if you don't have your eyes wide open on these, you're already losing. Here's the raw, undeniable fact. Legal threats to fund operations don't come from heroic cinematic battles in courtrooms. They come from small, overlooked mistakes. The cracks in your agreements, the slips in your compliance, the vague promises in your disclosures. You think you're safe because you hired a lawyer? Wrong. You think you're covered because you followed the template? They come from misunderstanding, neglect, and underestimating just how ruthless the legal landscape around venture funds really is. Dead wrong. This is a minefield, and every wrong step can cost you millions, your reputation, and years of hard-earned trust. The first killer trap waiting to kill your fund is poor fund documentation. General partner agreements that are fuzzy, incomplete, or littered with loopholes are the silent assassin of funds everywhere. It's tempting to rely on standard agreements, to copy what others do, or to leave the details to the lawyers. But when push comes to shove, those generic documents will blow up in your face. Here's the order. Stop pretending your fund agreement is just a formality. Demand crystal clear terms that protect you and your investors alike, that spell out every obligation, right, and risk with no room for interpretation. Every partner's power and responsibility must be spelled out in brutal detail. Any ambiguity, any vagueness, is a grenade tossed into the middle of your operation. Next, compliance blindness is the hidden killer sneaking up on funds. Do not let your fund slip even one tiny bit out of compliance, because regulators do not do favors. Securities laws, registration requirements, disclosure rules. If you aren't obsessively tracking every change, you are playing with fire tied to your ankles. One misstep, one missed filing, one misunderstood rule can freeze your operations, trigger massive fines, or end your fund's ability to raise new capital. Here's the non-negotiable command. Make compliance your highest daily priority. Employ top-tier compliance officers. Build processes that don't just meet, but exceed legal expectations, and audit relentlessly. This is war. If you stop fighting, you lose. The third merciless blow? Mismanagement of capital calls and distributions. It sounds basic. Get money, invest it, pay out profits. But the laws and expectations here are a maze of detail. If your fund doesn't execute its capital calls perfectly, if the timing or method of distributions is off, you risk lawsuits not just from investors, but from silent watchdogs lurking in the shadows. Think investors won't notice small errors. Think again. These mistakes are how trust becomes broken, how partners turn to lawyers, and how your fund collapses under its own weight. Command yourself to build flawless processes around every financial move. Track, record, report, and communicate with militant precision. This is the backbone of integrity and survival. Fourth, beware the monster of conflicts of interest. Every relationship around a fund, between partners, between investors, between advisors, is a powder keg, if not managed transparently and forcefully. Too many funds fall into the trap of vague disclosures, or worse, hiding conflicts hoping no one notices. That's not just naive, it's suicidal. The law demands absolute honesty here. The smallest whisper of conflict's hidden, the faintest hint of unfair advantage, and your credibility dies. The demand: disclose everything, manage conflicts aggressively, and if necessary, get outside eyes involved. No mercy, no excuses. Your reputation is the most valuable asset, and you protect it with ruthless transparency. The fifth silent destroyer: intellectual property and proprietary information leakage. If your fund supports startups and innovations, if you invest in future-changing companies, then your fund's legal fortress must protect not just money, but ideas, patents, data, and trade secrets like a dragon guards its hoard. Too many partners underestimate how easily careless legal oversight lets this treasure slip away, resulting in lawsuits, lost deals, and ruined relationships. Your order: construct airtight confidentiality agreements, enforce strict controls on data use, and build legal firewalls strong enough to survive the worst breaches. Protect your fund's DNA, no compromises. And finally, the cursed ghost haunting every fund: disputes within the partnership. Nothing destroys a fund faster than internal fights that spiral into drawn-out legal battles. Don't wait for a fight to break out. Nip it in the bud every time. This is the nightmare nobody wants to face, but ignoring the subtle signs: resentment over management, disagreements on strategy, money flow frustrations, guarantees you'll end up there. Your command: embed dispute resolution mechanisms into your agreements, insist on mediation and arbitration as the first steps, and foster ruthless, ongoing communication between partners. Now, here's the liberating truth you need to grasp as tightly as if your very survival depends on it. Because it does. These legal threats are not random disasters. They are predictable, manageable, and conquerable. No fund, no founder, no investor should ever feel helpless. Power is yours to claim by building unshakable legal foundations. Stand firm on your documentation. Own your compliance. Command your financial flows. Reveal and rule conflicts. Shield your intellectual treasures. Resolve internal tension quickly and cleanly. This isn't just about staying in the game. It's about transcending the old rules, breaking free from the mediocre traps that kill dreams quietly. This is the battlefield where clarity, transparency, rigor, and courage forge the future of the fund world. The funds that rise and become legends are those owned by people obsessed with these legal realities, who treat every clause, every rule, every interaction like a sacred promise. Do not settle for anything less than dominance over these threats. You are not here to be average or compliant. You are here to transcend legacy illusions, to build autonomous networks of trust and power, to reshape the future through your undaunted will. So gear up. Demand your legal fortress be your strongest asset, not your weakest link. Challenge your team to obsess over every detail. Hunt down ambiguity and destroy it. Make your fund untouchable. Remember this with every breath. Legality isn't a cage. It's a tool, a weapon, a foundation of freedom when wielded with ruthless clarity and relentless discipline. Take control or be controlled. The stakes couldn't be higher. Your mission is clear. Your future depends on it. Now move. Fix your fund's legal operation today. No hesitation, no waiting. The clock is ticking. The threats are real. Rise, sharpen your defense, and watch your empire grow unbreakable.